Happy Sunday to you guys. What is today? Today is June 30th. Hey, I'm going to show you this. Got me a new hat on the Oakley yard when I was there. Annabelle and I walked over to the cabinet and I got this nice blue hat with I don't know if that's like gold or khaki or tan or whatever this is, but got me a new hat. I like it. I'm digging it. But this is the one that matches my truck, so this is my fave. But I'm going to show you guys something here real quick. I bought this on Amazon, and I was looking for something compact to use to clean my floor, vacuum. And by the way, I'm here on a 34 in Columbia, South Carolina still. And what I've done briefly, and this is going to follow, so stay tuned. I had a man reach out in the comments and asked me if I could go over some of the 2024 requirements for Oakley. I'll do my best to do that in this video. And I thought, it's the end of June. It'd be a good time to go over some year-to-dates. Fuel, miles, pay, things of that nature. So, guys, I'm a pretty organized individual. Everything that I have is in a spreadsheet. Okay, so when I'm giving you numbers, here are all of my months organized, guys, and I have a lot of information that I put in there, okay? So when I give you totals, I have them written down. That's not a WAG. You say, what's a WAG? You guys that were in the military, you might know what a WAG is. A WAG is a wild-ass guess. My numbers are not wild-ass guesses. My numbers are pretty rock solid. Now, one thing that I'll tell you folks is I have attention deficit, and I'm completely okay with that. I think it's a benefit, personally, not a detriment. So when I'm doing a video, like I might say I'm loading in Anderson, North Carolina, like I did in yesterday's video. It's actually Anderson, South Carolina. I'm getting ahead of myself with my thoughts because I'm trying to make sure I get all the information up. So when I give you guys my numbers, I might go a little bit dyslexic on a number. You kind of get the understanding, because later in the video or whatever, I will correct that, so just deal with it. But my numbers are solid. They're directly off my spreadsheet, and I have them, again, written down for you guys, and they're going to come here in just a little bit. But I'm going to show you this. I told you I was looking for something. Again, there's attention deficit. I just went off on a rabbit trail. To clean my truck, I bought this battery-operated rechargeable vacuum off of Amazon before I came out. And this is the, I don't know what the heck it is, the KMM LT117C or KMM. And this thing is as cool as could be. It charges off of a little charger that plugs into your USB-C. Look at that bad boy. That is the coolest little thing. Has its own little mini attachments. It is perfect for here inside the truck. If you guys are looking for a good little vacuum for your truck, this thing has been great so far. Because I was carrying one of those big, like a car vacuum, like a shop, not a shop vac, but a dirt devil. And it took up too much room. I had the big long cord, and I could just take that little box, put it right up here, and that's that. Semper Fi, Devil Dogs. Thank you for your service to all of you men and women who served. My truck I got shorts and everything piled up here, but I'm on a 34. So if you guys want to know what my truck looks like on a 34, this is it. My pillow is propped up in the corner. Yeah, guys, I use a CPAP. I'll tell you this right now. If you guys are not getting your sleep checked because you're like, I don't want to deal with that CPAP. I don't want the DOT on my medical card and all that crap dealing with that. That's fine. You do whatever you want. But I'll tell you this, if you don't get your proper rest, it will kill you and it will shorten your life. That's a fact. I will never go without my CPAP for as long as I need it. I sleep with it every single night. It has changed my life for the better. So if you men and women are fighting that, like, I don't want to do that, screw that. Well, okay. But if you're not getting your proper rest, I promise you, you are shortening your tenure here on this earth. Moving on. The other thing that I'm doing here is I am actually studying tactical strength and conditioning for another certification for GenFit, James Evans Nutrition and Fitness. That's going to be my last certification that I'm going to get. This one is working. It's primarily for law enforcement, firefighters, military, things of that nature. I thought it was a really cool course that ISSA offers, International Sports Science Association. And I'm going through this right now. I'm about halfway through that course, getting that certification. As I've said before, I have my personal trainer certification. I have my nutritional coaching certification. And now I will have this certification coming next. And that will be awesome because it will kind of give me a balanced approach to everything that I want to do with that. And I am looking forward to it. Something else that I have here in the truck is the freezer. I think I've showed you guys this before. That thing is set at 23 degrees and that thing stays dead on 23 degrees. And I'll show you guys. You open it up, got a little light down in there. But I keep my frozen veggies in here. Whole foods, guys. Gotta eat whole foods. But like right here, I gotta take one of these. These are bison burgers. I get the bison at Costco, cook them up before I leave, freeze them, bring them out. They are phenomenal. Love them. You guys need to make sure you're getting your protein. But jump in here for a second. Tell you this. 1 gram of sugar, Walmart brand protein drinks, 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, 160 calories. If you're looking for a protein supplement, it's kind of hard to get all of that from regular foods all the time, although that's the best source. Supplement with some protein. It will do you good. Make sure. Your body's going to restore fat or retain fat, and it's going to kick out muscle. So make sure you do that. But that being said, this is kind of my 34 setup when I'm here. Window shades are in because it is burning hot here in Columbia, South Carolina. I cleaned up the truck this morning. It's disheveled right now because I got stuff set aside, but it's clean. So right now, I'm going to hop out and go over these numbers because I don't want to do it here in the truck. So we're going to go out here and sweat for a hot minute while I go over 2024 requirements as I understand them for Oakley and my totals for the year. So let's do that. See if my glasses steam up when I come out. I hope not. All right, okay. APU is running good. Thank heavens for that APU, man. That bad boy is working like a charm. Tri-Pack 3, it's doing the trick. Bruce Oakley, vacuum pneumatics. All right, let's go over this. Try to stand back here in the shade at the back of my trailer. And again, I'm at the Petro in Columbia. So, 2024 requirements, as I understand them for Oakley, they have not changed. 2 to 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, of recent, verifiable, over-the-road experience. No accidents, no preventable accidents. Moving violations, I'm not sure where they're at on that. I don't know if you're allowed to have one or none. I don't know. That would definitely be a question for recruiting. I'm not sure what the safety requirement is for that. Your truck, you have to be an owner-operator. To reiterate this, I get this question often. Does Oakley have lease purchase? No, this is not like Prime Incorporated. This is not a lease purchase company. We are 100% independent owner-operators leased to Bruce Oakley. There's no lease purchase. I mean, you can lease a truck from another entity, but you're not going to lease it from Oakley. I also got this question recently. Well, if you break down out there on the road, will Oakley pay the repair and then just take it back out of your settlements? Well, for the trailer, they'll cover the cost of the trailer. It's their trailer. For the truck, no, that's on you. You own that truck. That is your baby. If you need to get it fixed, Oakley will not pay for that because that crosses that line between, employee and independent contractor. So no, it's your responsibility to fix your truck and get it squared away, etc. No, Oakley does not pay for that. The way that I understand the waiting list right now, because there is a waiting list for Oakley. Somebody's got their big bass booming over here in the back. I got like a tent set up over here behind the petrol. I don't know, they had some kind of a car rally, it looked like, last night. So if you hear that, I'm sorry. For end dump, my book fell. For end dump, the last I knew, it was about, I gotta fix my book, it just fell. I gotta find my numbers again. Here we go. A 2-month waiting list to get into end dump. That's the last I knew. Hoppers you could get into pretty quick. For pneumatics, if you don't have previous verifiable pneumatics experience, you cannot start in the pneumatics division. You have to start in one of the other two and spend approximately 6 months at Oakley working in that division before they will let you switch into the tank division. That's how they do it. That's their rules. Is there anything else that I can think of? I don't really believe so. Oh, trucks, 5 years or newer. If your truck is older than 5 years, it's a case-by-case basis. That's recruiting. I promise you will want pictures of your truck. They're going to want to know how your maintenance records are and things of that nature. And then they'll make a decision accordingly. They don't like heavy trucks because we're a bulk company. We get paid in a lot of cases by the weight. So last I knew, I thought their max was 20,000 pounds for the tractor, but don't quote me again. That is a question for recruiting also. So trucks, 5 years or newer, not heavy. Okay, now a lot of guys here have T680s, you know, they have Peterbilt 389s. I've got a 567. I mean, guys, we've just got basic trucks here. But you can't go out and buy some super heavy truck and bring it over here and expect that it's going to be okay, because they're not going to allow that. So just a heads up for you. So that's my understanding of the 2024 requirements for Bruce Oakley. Now, let's get into some totals, because people like that too. For the year, on this truck, and it's easy because I started the year with this green truck. I took delivery of that truck on January 10th. I put it in service at Oakley. I think it was on January 14th or 15th. So halfway through January, I put this truck in service. So basically, whatever I have on the odometer is what I've done this year as far as work. I have actual miles right now, 55,475. It's the end of June right now. So 55,475 is where I'm sitting as we speak. My paid miles, that's empty and loaded, because Oakley pays for empty and loaded miles, is 51,813. That's my empty miles. That's a difference of 3662 between actual miles and paid miles. Now, that includes my deadhead home. That includes other things that I had, you know, out of route miles that I might go between locations. And truthfully, I'm not really too unimpressed with this. That's 7%. Normally, you're going to average 10% on a load. Now, Oakley pays practical miles point to point. They don't pay off the odometer. So they're using book miles, as we've all heard said. And I think 3662 is really good for a difference. So 10% would be roughly 5,500 miles. So I consider that to be excellent for the year so far, that I'm only at 7% out of pocket for miles. Let's see, fuel for the year, I've used 9,845 gallons with the truck. I just added all this up. That's 5.6 miles per gallon on my actual miles for the year with this truck. And it's actually getting a little bit better now. I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, it's 5.6, but it's been creeping up to a little bit over 6 miles per gallon. So that's probably going to hover right around 6 to 6.3, 6.4 miles per gallon. So that's good, because at Oakley, the fuel surcharge is calculated at 6 miles per gallon. So if you do a little bit better than 6 miles per gallon, you're making a little bit of a profit off of that. If you're less, well, then obviously it's costing. So I want to get to 6 or a little better. So I'm getting there, and that's great. Gross money. Everybody wants to talk about money. All right, I'm going to throw this out right up front. I called payroll about a week ago because I was kind of spurred into asking this question. What has been my bonuses year to date? Because I track everything, but like a dork, I haven't really tracked anything that I get from YouTube, from referrals and things of that nature. So I asked I asked payroll, what have I made this year in recruiting bonuses? And it was $20,900. Thank you, men and women. Thank you, folks, for allowing me to submit your name. Again, I say that very humbly. It helps me. It helps my family. It certainly does offset some of this cost. And again, if you found value in my videos, you find value in the information that I'm providing, that's wonderful. That's the purpose for this. And I was looking for information when I came here. There's some information that I couldn't find, so that's what I'm trying to give to you folks. Again, if you find value in the information that I'm giving, I humbly ask that you reach out to me. If you're interested in Oakley, allow me to submit your name and number to Oakley to get the referral for your hire if you choose to come and work here. On the other side of that, that gives you a resource. That gives you contact with me to reach out, ask questions, get information from an owner-operator's perspective prior to you coming here and even after you come here to assist or help you in making a decision for or against coming to Oakley. And I'm not going to tell you to come to Oakley. I'll tell you, I had a man reach out to me the other day that has a really good LTL gig. And he said, man, my family and I, we just aren't sure. And I told him point blank, if you're not sure, don't do it. You'll look back on it and more than likely you're going to regret making the decision. You have to make sure this is what you want to do. Hands down. We all know that. But this guy and I, great guy, we're having a conversation and I told him, if it's not something that you're certain about, don't. So guys, I'm not going to try to talk you into Oakley. If I don't think it's a good fit, I'm going to let you know, look, it's probably not a good idea for you. You make your decisions accordingly. We're all adults here. But it probably is not what you're looking for. So, sometimes that's valuable also because it may stop you from doing something you would regret later. And Oakley doesn't want that either. They don't want a man or woman to come here and lease on to find out that it's just really not their thing or their family wasn't really behind them and it didn't work out and then they're right back out of here. You've left your previous job. Now you've left. You bought it. I'm not going to automatically tell you, yeah, Oakley's the best thing for you. You need to do that. So again, if you're looking for a resource, honest information, hit me up. Allow me to submit your name and number. You have me as a point of contact and a go-between sometimes, even though, look, I'll tell you guys, this is my disclaimer. I am giving you my experience at Oakley. I do not speak for recruiting. I do not speak for Bruce Oakley. I don't have that authority. I don't have that right. Oakley holds the final say on everything to do with your hiring. I have no say in your hiring or your approval. Okay? I'm not going to cross that boundary. I'm not going to step into their role. I had a colonel in the military said this once, right? He said 3 things: know your role, do your job, and execute to the best of your ability. The first part of that statement is know your role. And that is huge, and that was by design. Know your role, do your job, and execute to the best of your ability. Well, my role is not recruiting, okay? My role is for myself. Jimmysroadlyfe, Leatherneck Transportation is the name of my company. I'm out here representing my company. Oakley is my customer. I'm leased to Oakley. They are my customer. And I got this from a guy named Bruce Marks, who I just met the other day. What a squared away guy. In vacuum pneumatics also. He said this in a podcast a long time ago. I have my company. Bruce Oakley is my customer. I serve my customer, Bruce Oakley, by giving their customers the best service that I can provide. And I thought, man, that's actually really cool. I like that concept. So I have adopted it for myself. I can't claim it. Thank you, Bruce. So I work for myself. So I'm representing my company, my customer, Bruce Oakley, servicing their customers. I know what my role is. So guys, I don't speak for recruiting. All final answers come from there. But again, if you're interested in Oakley, I humbly ask that you contact me. Allow me to submit your name and number for the referral. And then you have me as a resource as you go forward prior to coming here and even after. Moving on. Money. So again, year to date, I have made $20,900 in bonuses. My gross money to my last settlement, which was just this pay last Friday, is $146,420 for the year. That's what I've made. My net for the year is $104,147. Off of gross, to get your net, is your fuel and def purchases and all of Oakley's costs, your insurance, your base plate, your pre-pass, your easy pass, by the way, Oakley pays tolls except for Florida, Kansas, and Texas. So they pay all the other tolls. Your workman's comp insurance and stuff like that. Mine comes up to, right now on this new truck, it's like $333 a week. So those are my Oakley expenses. So my fuel and def and my Oakley expenses at roughly $333 a week. That comes off of gross, and that's where you get net. Out of your net, you make your truck payments, you pay for your maintenance, you pay your taxes out of that, and then whatever, you pay yourself and your family, all that. That comes off of your net. So if you're wondering gross to net, what does it include, what does it not include, that's it. Now, if you go to the comments and you don't watch this whole video and you say, well, what comes off of net? I'm not even going to really respond to your comment because I just addressed that. Watch the whole video. Because if you hear this, then you heard that. So if you're one of those guys that you only watch 2, 3, 4 minutes of a video, then you pepper me with questions, I'm not answering your questions because I answered your question in the video. I'm not wasting my time with it. Monthly, that gives me a monthly gross of $29,284 and a monthly net of $20,829. Now, that being said, I was off really for the whole month of January getting my trucks flipped around. I went to Hunter Peterbilt after I had this truck out for a few weeks to get some out of the factory bugs worked out. Was off for a week with maintenance with that. The truck was just at Thermo King for a week the last time I was in, getting software updates and a bug fix on my APU. So this pay is really through the middle of June, this last pay. So technically, if you add the 2 weeks for maintenance, most of January, I was off that whole month. I would say that this is roughly 5 months of work. I had my normal time off in there too. I went home every other weekend for 3 days. That's what I had been doing most of the year up until now. So these numbers are reflective of 5 months of work. That's where I came up with that monthly total. If I remove the bonus from that, all my bonus money, I have a monthly gross of $25,084 and a monthly net of $16,629. Okay, that's where I'm at. So, all things being equal, that's pretty fair in my opinion. Oakley has been very good to me. I don't have any complaints about Oakley. As I said in a video yesterday, when I went over the vacuum trailer, go back and check it out if you want to know what I'm doing now. I just changed divisions. Again, within the division, I said this, okay? Is Oakley perfect? No. And they'll admit that. They strive to be perfect. We all do, I think, but we're not. None of us are. They're not. I'm not. No one is. Oakley has, people that, probably could be better like any other company, but they're very few and far between. Okay? Look, I think every company has them, but what I found with Oakley is that those people that leave something to be desired are a lot less in number than at other companies. Oakley, they're pretty firm in the way they do things. They have standards and they enforce them. And I think that's great. As a Marine, I came from an organization that had very rigid standards. That's how it was. This is how it is. And at Oakley, if you don't shave, a lot of guys don't like the policy for shave. Great, fine. If you don't like it, guys, I don't care. I don't want your crap in the comments. Oh, I hate that shave policy, man. Can't have a beard. I don't care. Save it. I don't give a crap whether you like or you don't like that you can't have a beard at Oakley. Don't freaking work here if you don't like that. All right? So what? Go work somewhere else. I just gave you my numbers. By the way, speaking of that, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. I had a man reach out to me guess it was about a year ago. Owner-operator, been an owner-operator for years. His truck was making $200,000 a year gross. Gross. That's what he had been averaging. He couldn't break $200,000. I'm at 146 in June. And he said, and I'm really interested in coming to Oakley. What's their requirements? I went over this, told him about the beard. No beards. Oh, I'm not shaving my beard for anybody. Okay, then guess you're not coming to Oakley. Well, that's a stupid policy. Okay, that's great. That's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. I don't care. Some guys like it, some guys don't. If you don't like it, don't work here. Well, I'm not shaving my beard for anybody. Well, then you go right ahead and you keep making 200 grand. But I told this guy before I hung up the phone, I was being a little bit sarcastic. I ain't gonna lie. But it was the truth. I said, hey man, a little suggestion for you. Yeah, you might want to put an insurance policy on that beard of yours for $500,000. It's worth a lot of money. What do you mean? Well, over the course of 5 years, you're going to give up $500,000 in gross revenue to your equipment, roughly, because you don't want to shave. Go home and explain that one to your family. So I would put that policy on there because heaven forbid you had a Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial incident and you got a flash of fire and burned your beard off. That way you can get compensated for it. So that's my 2 cents on that. Oakley has standards. They have policies. Some people like them. Some people don't. That's fine. If you don't like them, don't work here. If you're okay with them and you want to be successful and make decent money, then comply with the standards. Come over here and work, and you'll find that it's a very good place to work. When I talk about their standards, I just use shaving as an example. Guys, if you walk into Oakley's office or a lot of their customers, and you haven't shaved in days, I promise you somebody is going to say something. And that's what I like about Oakley. They actually enforce their standards. Because the last company I was at, guys got away with everything. Milking the clock, doing this, didn't write up trailers, didn't load the trailers properly, this, that, and the other, and bluntly, they turned a blind eye to it. They blah, 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 they talked, but they never did a damn thing. It was like the dog that was all bark. And it was demoralizing to their employees that were good. I was one of their good employees. I complied with their standards. I comply with Oakley standards because I knew that coming in, and I agreed to that. It's called discipline, responsibility. A lot of people in this world don't have it. My last company, they had their fair share of scumbags. We got paid by the hour. They would milk the clock, go over their run times. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say the run time to Buffalo was 4 hours. You could easily do that in 3.5. Plenty of time to stop for a cup of coffee, go to the bathroom, get back on the road, and you could make it there in plenty of time. But yet there were guys that would do it in 4.5 hours. They just got paid an extra half hour on that, which you add up overtime at the end of the year. That was substantial. Company never said a word. Never said a word. Hey, why were you late? Oh, this, okay. And they would let them get away with it. They still do to this day, and it's a bunch of crap. It's demoralizing to the good employees to allow people like that to skirt the standards and get away with it. They haven't figured that out yet, or they have and they don't care. Well, I'm not there anymore. It's one of the reasons why I left there, because I got sick of that crap. I thought, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm going to come over here where I'm going to work for myself, and sink or swim is on me. Now, granted, Oakley is providing me with loads and work. Sometimes that's great. Sometimes it's slow and it's not exactly what I want. But the great thing about Oakley is if you're not really getting what you think you need, or you're looking for a change to do something different, you can switch it up. I'm pulling a vacuum trailer right now. I was looking for something a little bit different. And ultimately, I was going to migrate here. So there are options. You pretty much can control your own destiny at Oakley, and I like that. So that's that. Getting away from all of that soapbox. If you take off my bonuses, $25,000 average per month gross, $16,629 net. That's an average per month. That is over basically 5 months. Just a little over 5 months. I calculated it at 5 months. So if you guys are wondering how that would translate to you, well, there's a basic idea. Now, I'm in pneumatics, which is one of the higher paying divisions. The way that I kind of view the divisions as far as pay, end dump pays kind of a little bit below pneumatics, and hoppers pays the least because of your amount of investment and risk involved in the divisions. Like for pneumatics, I bought a $10,000 blower. There's a huge risk of contamination. I own that. So we get paid a little bit more. End dump, you're buying a wet kit for $4,000, you're raising that trailer 40 feet up in the air, you're assuming some risk to that. You're gonna get paid a little bit more. Hopper, not making fun of the hopper guys, great division. Roll your door, it falls out. There's no investment in the truck. You know, can it be a dirty job work? Of course it can be, okay? Those guys get dirty and they work, you know, but the investment and risk is lower, so therefore the pay is lower. The way I see it is I would say it's 10 to 15% of a drop between divisions. So if you're kind of guessing and wondering where you would be, then that would be about right. Here's what I was going to tell you. I was trying to remember, going back to that file that I had. I had a man tell me just the other day that there are more than a few men in end dump that hustled their butt off last year and did well over $300,000, $310,000, $320,000, $325,000. Look, the economy is crap right now. These geniuses in Washington that we just saw the debate, that guy that's in the White House right now, don't even get me started. Okay, and I'm a conservative, guys. I'll tell you that point blank. I can't stand what's going on in Washington. Okay, I think the Republicans in Washington, by and large, are a bunch of scumbags too. That genius that got 81 million votes, okay, sure. Wow, look what he's done to our economy in this country just in 3 years. God help us. Why do I bring that up? Because everything is taking a hit in this economy, which sucks right now. Oakley has slowed down. I mean, it's going to catch up to everybody. So there is work here at Oakley. There's not, how do I say it? I don't want to call it the abundance of work, you know, that was here 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, but there is certainly work. It may not be the work that everybody wants to do, but there is work to be done. There is money to be made. Okay, I am still profitable. If you're not profitable, I would encourage you to look in the mirror. Joe McCullough said this in the podcast this week, the Oakley podcast. Check it out. Joe's a great guy. Yankee Joe. He said, I tell guys, you might want to look in the mirror before you start complaining and make sure it's not you. That's a true statement. Now, there are some things that do happen at times that it's not you, that it is Oakley. And again, like I said, Oakley's not perfect, but they do try. Well, you address it and say, hey, you know, this kind of isn't going the way I want. Can we do something about it? Okay, yay or nay. They'll be yay or nay. I mean, they're very honest people. I give them that 100%. If they can adjust, they will. If they can't, they'll say, I can't really make the adjustment. And then you get to make a choice. Whether you want to stay there, go to a different division, or move on. And, you know, they're very professional. They're very respectful. And, you know, I treat them that way too. I think everybody should. You know, you give respect, you get respect. That's how it should be. And you can make some adjustments and changes. So if you're willing to work and you're a go-getter, you know, again, just show up every day. Joe said this in the podcast. Just show up to work every day. You'll be fine. Just show up. You'll do just fine. I've showed up. I've done okay. So are things perfect? No. Have things slowed down? Yes. Is there still great potential here? Yes, there is. So we're 34 minutes in. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's more me rambling and talking about a few odds and ends things. If you're interested in Oakley, hit me up. Again, Jimmysroadlyfe, LYFE @gmail.com. Right now, I am 24 hours into a 34-hour reset. Digging it, Petro, Columbia, South Carolina. Hope you guys are having the best day of your life. Remember, eat whole foods. Stay away from that processed crap. Stay away from the sugar. You know, I heard this the other day, and it's true. We're the only country that still calls Alzheimer's and dementia. It's actually type 3 diabetes. Okay, everything is linked to overcompensation of sugars and that kind of crap. Guys, get away from the sugars. Eat whole foods. What are whole foods? Fruits, vegetables, and meats. What's on the perimeter of the grocery store? Remember, if it's in the aisle, in a box, it's a product. It's not a food. It's not a whole food. Remember that. Somebody made that. Look at the ingredients. It's no different than this tire. Okay? It's a product. They took a bunch of chemicals and a bunch of things, put them together, and came up with a tire. Well, your food, in a lot of ways, is a product. It's the same thing. So again, be healthy, eat healthy, whole foods, drink lots of water. In the summertime out here, get your electrolytes. Do yourself a favor. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. God bless you. Peace out. Have a good one. Hit me up if you have any questions. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Sorry I kind of rambled a little bit. I got nothing but time. Peace out.